All right, welcome, and thanks for joining me tonight. I'm just going to go through and just share with you some stats and the facts behind Isagenix, and help you to see, the you know, you want you want to see the infrastructure, and the numbers don't lie, right? So uh, when we're making a decision on what we're going to commit to, and this is for people who are already associates or people who are trying to make a decision if they want to join the Isagenix team, and when you put your time and your effort and really your life, you invest it into something. We want to get returns out of that, and in today's economy, the business of the 21st century, you could get a lot back that comes from that effort. But a lot of people aren't. There's a lot of unsatisfactory things that are being returned to people for them literally dedicating the majority of their life towards a product or a service, which is related to a company and some kind of compensation. So I want to share with you some of the facts behind Isagenix that can really help you to see more into, if I invest in this, how can I be sure? How can I, have some kind of um, confidence in what's going on? So we're going to go through this. It's not a. I mean, I threw this together a couple years ago. Things have changed in those last couple years, so I've added some things, but it's nothing fancy. But I'm just going to lay out for you some things that you might not have been exposed to or be aware of. So with that, before I get started, this presentation is for training purposes only. It's not meant to represent any fixed or guaranteed incomes. It's all based on your individual efforts and the results that you're going to get as an individual. And when it comes to any of the products and the results, none of them have been evaluated by the FDA. So just going back to where it all started, some of you are familiar with my story already. That was my transformation in Isagenix. The first picture being, unhappy, not getting the results that I wanted from the effort that I was putting in. And, I was an athlete all through high school, and this was not me at age 36. And very quickly that changed for me on the products after already trying so many other things that didn't work. So I just got super excited about my own results and the way I felt and how I showed up every day now, how I was engaged in life, and the enthusiasm and the vigor and the vitality and the recovery, ready to go every day, every morning, ready to go all through the day. I lost cravings for bad food. I lost cravings for sugar. I lost cravings for stimulants. And it just really turned my life around because it turned my health around, my mental clarity and the energy especially. So that's something to be excited about. And so that just snowballed into what I would call a business opportunity for me. I wasn't really aware, wasn't really interested. I wasn't even interested in the products. My wife won them at an expo in a drawing. That's how I got on them. So something that kind of fell into my lap. It woke me up. People noticed, started asking questions, and it just evolved for me. I was a mechanic for about 15 years for Honda. So this is where it all basically started for me. And then now I've been with the company for 11 years, and coming up on, for my personal results, financially, coming up on $5 million in the company. In August at the event in the magazine, it said we were at 4.5 million, and we're at a seven-figure income annually. So we should be right about 5 million at the end of the year. So that's our personal results. So going into this, Isagenix was voted Company of the Year. This was in 2015 by the coveted Stevie Awards. And then in Eek Magazine, we've been moving up every year for 9 years in a row. Direct Selling News, which is like the Better Business Bureau. Direct Selling News is like the monitors the direct selling industry. We were ranked in 2016 number 22 globally. That's huge because any of the companies that have been in the top 25 have been in business for 40 years on average. And we've only been in business since 2002. So we're barely been in business for about 14 years, and here we are ranked 22. So something's going on. That's a clue, right? What is it that's going on behind that number? So here, I just want to go through some of the awards that we've won. I mean, there's awards after awards that we get year after year in these different categories. And let me just go back a little bit. We're looking at weight loss, energy performance, healthy aging, and even wealth creation. As a home-based business, yes, we have a wealth creation program that you can follow, and it doesn't interfere with your full-time gig, your job. I was still mechanicking. I just did this in my part-time. And then like Jim Rohn, a great networker and professional speaker, he said, you can build your part-time fortune while you're working your full-time living and paying your bills. And eventually, if you put in enough time, he says anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week consistently, your part-time wealth that you're working on in the pockets of your free time will eventually pass up your full-time job income. And then you can decide if you want to quit or if you want to do both. So I elected to quit when I replaced my income and started doing this full time. Changing oil for people's, you know, changing people's oil was great, for a living, but now I get to change people's lives for a living, and that's way more satisfactory. So here's some of the awards just going through, and it says life-changing products and opportunities lead to exceptional success. Thanks to the several 100,000 associates worldwide, Isagenix is quickly moving to the top of the charts in the network marketing industry. Year after year, the company continues to exceed business goals in revenue while transforming lives across the globe. And these are just a few of the many awards Isagenix has received over the years, and it's all thanks to you. Their motto is, if it's not right for the associates, it's not right for the company. Kathy Coover, who's one of the co-founders with her husband Jim and then John Anderson, Kathy was a networker in the industry, and she rose to the top of 3 companies. But they changed the comp plans, or the company disappeared because lack of experience and making dumb decisions, or greed, or all kinds of different things, changing the compensation plans. She was making over $30,000 a month in one company, and they made a quote unquote compensation plan enhancement, and it went down to $8,000 a month. And she finally retired, financially free, her and her husband, and they came out of retirement to help John Anderson create a network marketing company that people could call home and feel safe. So that's the motto. If it's not right for the associates, then it's not right for the company. And I've been with them for 11 years. I've been on the board, the Millionaire Panel board, for 2 years in a row. And they take our advice. They want to know what we're thinking, and they want to make the right decisions based on us in the field. So they listen to us. Okay, so here's some of the awards. You have the Stevie Awards, and it goes right on through, page after page, Inc. 5000. 10 consecutive years in a row now. This is pulled off of isafyi.com, so you can go to isafyi.com and read about these different things. Kathy Coover being the most influential women in Arizona. Make-A-Wish. That's the charity that we've aligned ourselves right now. Millions of dollars have been donated by associates and the company for Make-A-Wish. And Child Help was, for years before that, the organization, the charity group that we had donated millions and millions. I think total, I'm guessing, but I think I remember being over $20 million that was donated totally to Child Help. And Make-A-Wish is phenomenal, and the impact that we've been making there as a company. Also, Isagenix received a congressional award, and it says this is the first time the U.S. Congress has honored a network marketing company for its excellence and contribution to society. So a congressional award given to Isagenix. And so these awards mean something. It means there's recognition. It's a real company. We're not operating out of a garage, that type of thing. And it's actually out of Chandler, Arizona, and they just moved to Gilbert in a brand new, beautiful building. I should have got a picture of the building. I don't think I have one in this presentation, maybe. It's beautiful, right on the frontage road, and you cannot miss it. I've talked to some people that are from Arizona that I've met during traveling, and I say, oh, have you seen that new Isagenix building? Or, oh, yeah, you can't miss it. So it's huge. It's a great representation of what the company is. Now, we also have clinical studies behind. So there's the company being scrutinized and given awards. But here we have Dr. Paul Ursirio, who's published over 40 published papers that have literally gone into medical journals. And he did a study for us that was 6 months, and it went up against the Heart Healthy diet, which is the medical community's best diet program that they have to helping people get their health back and their wellness. And so we went up against that for 6 months with no exercise. Well, after it was all said and done, Paul said, I would not have believed these numbers. It's such an outlier. It is so out of the norm that I would have thought this was a total bogus study had I seen these numbers. But doing it myself, I know that they're all factual. And he says this is the most amazing thing. And we literally have other researchers that are citing this study now. And this study that I'm going to show you some of the results of on the next slide ended up in peer-reviewed medical journals like Nutrients, and the most distinguished, most trusted, most sought after, hardest medical journal to get in, PubMed. This study that was done by Paul Serio ended up in PubMed. So when doctors say, well, show me the proof, this is the top of the pyramid for publications that are in the medical journals. It's the highest standard. So there's the proof. And here's what it showed. Besides these over here on the left, reducing visceral fat by 33% in 6 months with no exercise, that blew Dr. Paul Serio away. That's the hardest fat to get rid of between the organs here. You're looking at an MRI cutaway. But also 4 times more fat was lost in the 6 months with no exercise than the heart healthy diet. Remember, this is against what the greatest minds in the medical community could put together. 4 times more, not just doubled the amount of fat loss, 4 times more, quadrupled. Same thing with increased muscle. We increase muscle at the same time as losing fat. The metabolism goes up and toxins being released through the urination process. So that's the study that was published. These are the observationals, people just getting great results. And, Spencer's a really great friend right here. I know Spencer personally, and there he is. IsaBody Challenge qualifier, $3,000 just for being a qualifier in that. The winner got $25,000. But you can just see the results here and the difference in the whole, look at the expression of the face, and it just is amazing that Isagenix does that again and again. I mean, look at this. This is a results-driven business. This guy used the same products, but he was too skinny and actually put on 14 pounds of lean muscle in 30 days. Put on 14 pounds. Remember, it said it helped those participants gain 14 pounds of muscle. So he's 82 years old. He put on 14 pounds of muscle in 30 days. That's Everett. I'm standing next to him. And in 30 days, he needed to gain the weight. He was atrophying. And then you can just see the before and afters, friends on Facebook. Incredible results. She became an Isagenix millionaire. That's $1 million picture, right? Well, she shared her picture and she became the 181st millionaire. This guy did exactly what the study showed, dropped his body fat from 13% to 8% while putting on 15 pounds of muscle at the same time. Now, this is working out, obviously, but that's exactly what our study showed in the fat loss and in the muscle gain. I love this one. I mean, that's an attitude change. That's a total attitude adjustment just through a fundamental process, what we put in our body on a daily basis. Here, she didn't want her picture taken. Here, she took her own picture and then posted it. So, total attitude change. And it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. What we put in our bodies, we got to put something in every day. We might as well put in the best. Look our best. This is Jeff Beebe, 55 years old, down to 6% body fat. This is Dennis Schwartz. We sang happy birthday to him. He's holding a balloon right here. It was his 60th birthday. And then you saw my first results. That was mine. And then this is 11 years later. So this was just like 2 months ago I took this picture. I actually am looking better than this now. I've lost about another 3 pounds right in that midsection. It's just amazing, right? 11 years. I've lost a total of 63 pounds. So because of the results, because of the awards that are being won, because of the facts, which Business from Home looks at, and it rates based on all of these different things that they scrutinize, it was rated a AAA plus opportunity because it's a home-based business. So Business for Home recommends Isagenix. There's a high certainty that the net benefit is substantial for a new representative. Like one of them, our millionaires learned about the products from their Zumba instructor. They had no interest in a business. They were working in LA, fighting the traffic every morning, but was going to Zumba, wanting to lose the weight. And her Zumba instructor said, here, you need to try this Isagenix. She tried it, had amazing results, became one of our millionaires. We found it at an expo. Had no interest in any type of business or anything like that. But my results were so amazing, I just felt obligated to share it with other people. Now, network marketing, building a powerful network of people that becomes a strong link, bound and protected and facilitated by a common interest, vision, and vehicle. There's two important days in your life, says Mark Twain, the day you're born and the day you discover why you were born. I had a third day to that. The day you discover the company that will support you to facilitate the reason for why you were born with no limits. Literally take the lid off. Like when I was working as a mechanic, I totally had limits. And they were so binding on me that I had to get a paper route where I delivered newspapers every morning. And I still didn't have enough money to get through the month. We're literally talking about being able to express ourselves in a manner that has really, quite frankly, never been able to happen before, except for those people who were born into wealth. Paul Zane Pilzer wrote The Perfect Storm of Opportunity, and he said, I started, and he's a Nobel Prize winning economist, and he said, I started seeing new names entering in to the Forbes 400 or 500, whatever it is. I think it's 400. New names that didn't come from backgrounds of wealth. They weren't being born into it. It wasn't the rich getting richer. And he said, I started researching, and what I found is there were more millionaires that were popping up from home-based businesses. So let's take a look at this. The network marketing industry. Major League Baseball, $7 billion annually. The NFL, $9 billion annually. The music industry, $16 billion. The movie industry, entertainment, $80 billion. Look at network marketing, $178 billion in gross revenue. Commissions paid out in the industry, 40%. That's $71 billion, almost the total that's created gross revenue in the entertainment industry. $200 million a day is being paid out. Wow. Who knew, right? Robert Kiyosaki wrote a new book, The Business of the 21st Century, and it's all about network marketing and how it empowers people to really lift the lid off in their life. So in the network marketing industry, just like any other industry, you have people who are going to start up a company and they're going to try and facilitate greater wealth in their lives. There's over 1,000 new companies in the network marketing that start up every year. And some of them are good intentioned, some of them aren't. Look at these companies in the corporate world. It's no different. Some of them have good intentions, some of them don't. We've heard the term used car salesman. We've all been to that used car lot where the guy is just ripping everybody off. Look at Enron. Look at the banking institutions and what that did to the economy and how it ripped off and literally destroyed families that were building their lives based on what the banks were assisting them with. And so it's not just the network marketing industry that has a bad egg in it. So what you find in the network marketing industry is associates who have no background. And I want to say this in a way of training. Everybody has an opportunity, but there are some people who have no business in trying to build their own business. They don't have the skills. They don't have the people person or the people. They're not a people person. They have no communicating skills. But because it's such a low startup to get started in this industry, literally anybody and everybody can do it. And so you have people who don't have the skills and maybe even might be doing it for the wrong reasons that can get into this very easy with no risk. So you're going to have, people that are representing the industry that aren't really a great representation. Now they could learn and grow. That's what Robert Kiyosaki loves about it, is they can be groomed and trained and mentored to become successful. But the bottom line is pretty much anybody can get into networking. Our company is $29 to get started. Okay. And like I said, some people just don't have those sales skills, never been to a training meeting in their life. But now they have their own business and they're going to go out and try and build it, and they might cause some damage doing that. So just setting that up, there's 1,000 new companies in the network marketing industry every year. 90% fail in the first year. 90%. That's huge. But you look at the restaurant, how many restaurants have come and gone in your local communities? I mean, I see one building that's turned over probably 4 or 5 different restaurants just in that one building in the last 5-10 years. So no different with this. 90% fell in the first year. Now here's our millionaires in Isagenix. We just hit our 200th millionaire. You think about that, 200 millionaires coming from all backgrounds. Me, I was a mechanic. This other gal that was in 180. I was the 69th. Me and my wife were the 69th millionaires. Here we are right down here at the bottom. This is years ago at 2.6 million. In this last August, we were at 4.5. So this is, yeah, 2013. The person that went to Zumba and got introduced and exposed to the products, she was 180 something millionaire, I think 180th, I think it was. So I'm going to go through some of these pictures. Like people say, yeah, everybody says they have millionaires. Well, I'm showing you the pictures. So here's some more. This is my neighbor, Tammy Hess. How cool are my neighbor? At one time in our small little town of St. George, we had like 9 or 10 millionaires right here at St. George. It just goes on and on. Here's some more pictures, right? 1.4 million, 1.5, 1.7. Okay, it goes on and on. Now, these people had no networking experience. And these were like the next 21, 25, something like that. Anyways, no networking experience. Emily and Hayden make a 7-figure income annually, and they're in their 20s. Now here's the 181st millionaire. And this is in May 17, 2016. Now we're going to pop up to our 193rd millionaire. This was October 5th. This is the 194th millionaire, October 5th. So on the same day, 2 millionaires. It was like in a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, 6 new millionaires. Here's the 200th millionaire that was just represented on the Isagenix website, October 20th. So 194 to 200 in a little over a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Pretty amazing. How many millionaires has your grocery store made out of their customers? Think about that, really. I mean, that's a real statement. How many millionaires has your grocery store made out of their customers? Now, let's take it a little further. How many grocery stores and Walmarts have made millionaires out of their employees working in the store? I would guess 0 out of the employees that are working in the store. Even Costco, which has a high income, starting wage, I'm sure there's not any millionaires that are on the clock that have made $1 million in Costco yet. So we have 200 from eating food from our Isagenix store. So let's go back to this. 90% fell in the first year. 80 companies have hit 100 million, like total, like 80 companies in the entire industry, which started in like early 1900s. I think Amway came around like 1950s and really established that it was a viable way of doing business with all the lawsuits and things like that. Even when mom and pop stores came out, breaking away from corporations, so when people were doing their own little franchising, it was taken to court and saying that that was illegal. Like the big corporations were fighting against that in fear. And so they were taken to court. Well, when network marketing came out and started to attract success, people have fear and tried taking them to court. Well, Amway established that it is a legal and viable way of distributing products. So only 80 companies. That's not very good, though. 80 companies have hit 100 million. 50 companies have hit 300 million. 5 companies have hit 300 million and kept growing domestically. This is an interesting number. Growing domestically means that their products are strong enough that they keep growing where they started. They don't have to branch out because people aren't buying their products anymore. They don't have to go to other countries, South America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, wherever, Europe. These companies, these 5 companies have hit 300 million in annual sales, and they kept growing domestically because their products are good enough. People get on them, they stay on them, and they keep sharing it with people, and their neighbors and their friends and their coworkers are getting on the products too. So they grow. They're growing at least 1%. At least 1% annually would mean growing in a positive. Only 5 companies. Watch this number. Only one health and wellness company has hit 500 million and grew 45% in that single year. Welcome to Isagenix. Grew 45%. It's unprecedented. Travis Garza said all of the other companies that were in the industry were like contacting him and saying, how are you guys doing this? what's going on? Because it's like our clinical that was done. It's an outlier. It's so out of the norm. And we're still growing at double-digit numbers yearly. So, and our customer base is 86%. 86% are just using the products. So that means they're signing up with the membership, going through that challenge to get the products that their friends and their neighbors and their coworkers are on, because they're watching them transform in front of their eyes, and they're maintaining that transformation. And so their friends, their neighbors, their family members, their relatives are saying, I want it. Okay, just get it. And they become customers. They must already like what they're doing or not know about the compensation plan in Isagenix, but they're just customers. They're not making any money. So like Costco, people sign up for a membership and they get to shop at Costco. Ours is an online membership. 86%. Again, another unprecedented number. And based on our 4 pillars. So 5 pillars if you count the Ageless Essentials separate from product B. So weight loss, energy and performance, healthy aging, and wealth creation. We have a solution for everybody. So the income model works on where you're putting in a lot of time in the beginning and you don't get a lot of income back, because it doesn't work that way. You're getting a small percentage of every order. But like Robert Kiyosaki says, rich people build networks, poor people look for work. Robert Kiyosaki is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So that might not be so appealing to somebody that hasn't worked 10, 20, 30, 40 years and is no further ahead and realizes that the boat isn't going to come in, the ship isn't going to come in. I'm going to have to win the lottery, basically, right, to live my dream life. Somebody who's worked a long time and is not getting back the results that they feel like they want and desire. When you see this business model and you start to understand it, you're willing to put in the time with little return financially. So everything under this red line is your income. Everything above the red line is the time that you're putting in. So you're not getting paid hour for hour. But what you are doing is you're creating a network. You're creating leverage, residual, and passive income. Those are principles of creating wealth. And a job doesn't do that. A job is trading time for money. So as the longer, like Jim Rohn said, spend 10 to 15 hours a week minimum, and eventually your income will surpass the income you are making in your job. If you consistently do that, work on your skills, and put forth the effort. So what happens is through the leverage, you start making more income. And because of the leverage, you can spend less and less time and get more and more money because of leverage. And then because the product is consumable, people are going to run out at the end of every month. So they're going to, just like groceries. How many times have you gone to the grocery store? Our products are groceries. They replace groceries. And so you got to go back. That's residual. It's very residual. It runs out pretty quick. Like we just got our order today and it felt like Christmas. After 11 years, I took a picture and posted it on Facebook. And then because it's passive income where people are getting their own accounts, they're paying for that membership, and now they have their own buying power, that's passive. People are going to be making orders that have been introduced to your business, and so you get paid a percentage on that, 6% on unlimited depth. So as the leverage increases, so does your income. You have more and more customers that reorder, but you also have the leverage of people who are going to take up the business too. So about 15%. If 86% are just customers, then 14% are going to be your business partners in your business. So they're going to actually go out and spend time building their business, which you get paid on everybody in your organization on unlimited depth, 6%. So when it reaches a certain point where you have business partners and so many customers, a lot of word of mouth is happening, it just takes off. So here I was, a mechanic that didn't have enough money to get through the month, and now I'm making a 7-figure income annually. So it's just a matter of building that network. And again, we have solutions for everybody with their health and their wealth, 2 of the most important areas in our lives. And you saw all the awards that Isagenix winning. You see their track record. and that we've done things that are unprecedented, that would be a pretty good vehicle to align your life with if you're wanting better returns. It's in the numbers. It shows that it will absolutely give you better returns if you put your effort and your energy and dedicate your life to it, just like you are at your job. But after 15 years of doing that, I had to get a paper out. So I wasn't getting the returns that I was hoping to get. So I want to show that leverage through a penny doubled a day for 30 days. A lot of people have heard this before, but it's just cool to watch it because our compensation plan is the only compensation plan that I'm aware of that could literally manifest the geometric power of 2. So growth by the power of 2. Our compensation plan can do that because let's say this is you on day 1. As soon as you enroll 2 people that use the products on a monthly basis, it's called the 100 PV. So they're ordering that much product for themselves, which is so minimal. My 8-year-old eats that much just by himself when he was 8. Carter, he's 12 now. So once I share it with 2 people, I get paid on everybody that comes in on unlimited depth 6%. So let's just theoretically look at that geometric progression of 2, because if I share it with 2 and I get paid, so does everybody else. This person shares it with 2, now they get paid, and this person shares it with 2, now they get paid, and I get paid on all of these people, 6%. So let's just geometrically progress that out. Some people ask the question, if I gave you $3 million now, I'll give it to you in a briefcase, it's yours, all $20 bills, do whatever you want with it, $3 million bucks. Or I'll give you a penny and I'll double it for every day for 30 days. Which would you rather have? And the unsuspecting, unknowing person would say, I'll take the $3 million bucks because you're starting out with a penny. But watch the compounding effect at the geometric progression of 2. And this is what our compensation plan theoretically can do because that's how they pay us on unlimited depth. And it only takes 2. So you go from 1 to 2. So now we have 3 cents. You add 4 to that, now we have 7 cents. But you just keep progressing this out. On day 10, you have $5.12. So that 1 penny being doubled every day turns into a little over $5 at 10 days. So if the person picked the penny, you can say, you sure you want the 3 million? Or do you want to stick with this? So you get to day 15, they're only $163. You get to day 20, you're at 5,000. We only have 10 days left. You can change your mind right now if you want. I'll give you the 3 million. Or do you want to hold out for the next 10 days? Well, then it goes to 10,000, to 20,000, to 41, to 83, to 167, to 335, 671 million. Still not $3 million, right? 1.3, 2.6, $5.3 million. So you can see that compounding effect. So if our products work and there's going to be other people sharing the products, how can that geometrically progress? So once you're a consultant, you've signed up 2 people, you get paid on everybody that comes in. So if I continue to share it with people, I'm going to up my odds of compounding my income. So if I make sure that these 2 people enroll 2, and I keep enrolling people, now this isn't even showing me enrolling anybody else but the 2, but I could throw more people in, get more results, and hopefully find somebody where the timing's just right in their life, where they realize they've been working for 30 years and it ain't working. So they decide that they're ready to join your business. Those people eventually show up. So if you just geometrically progress this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're at 4 levels here, right? Taking out the 1. You just keep progressing that with the Isagenix compensation plan, with everybody ordering the minimal amount. By the 12th level, it would be $54,000 in commissions with everybody ordering the minimal amount. If 90% of them quit, you'd still be at $6,000 a month. That's leverage. That's like the total, and what is it? The total representation, antithesis, is that the right word? Of what leverage can do for you. And you don't do that when you're trading time for money. Whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a car mechanic, or a massage therapist, or an employee that's just checking in on the clock, or even on a salary. So we were a couple of years ago, I'm not sure what year this was, 2014, I think. We were able to come up on the stage and accept, being recognized as 7-figure income earner club. That's 7 figures annually. So what I was told from those that were in networking when I got in, my mentors, when I got into Isagenix, they said, talk to 2 people a day. If you really want to build this, talk to at least 2 new people a day, 5 days a week. By the end of the week, you should have talked to 10 people. If you want to go faster, talk to 5 people a day. Then I would have talked to 25 people during the week. That's pretty easy to do, really, if you think about it, talking to 2 people, introducing them to some information, getting them to take a look at it, and then following up. Pretty easy. So I did that. I was desperate. My back was in the corner. And I loved the products. I loved the results, which has really sucked me in. And people were getting results the moment I started sharing with them. So not only did I have 2 people a day that I was talking to, but the people I got on the products, they had people that they were talking to. Whether they wanted to do the business or not, people saw their results, and so they were referring them to me. So that was on top of my own efforts. So here I was as a worn out, tired mechanic. You guys have no idea if you haven't heard my story, working 16 to 18 hours a day and not living in the house that we wanted to live in. We were living in the house that we had to live in, driving the cars that we had to drive. And I was tired and worn out. I was sick of life. And loving the products, knowing that we had a viable product that was a company backed with integrity. As soon as I went to my first company event, I realized that I was already sold on the product. But when I met the company and went to their event, I was like, done deal. This is bigger than I thought it was. I could totally align my life with this company. Man, we moved into the home we wanted to live in. We got to drive the cars. We get to drive the cars we want to drive. This was when I was we received a little pin saying that we had won $2 million at that point. Not won, earned. Started traveling the places we wanted to travel to, having the backyard that we want to have. Smashing the alarm clock. There's no boss. There's nothing to clock into anymore. Literally, leverage, passive, residual income lifts the lid off and lets me focus on what I want to focus on in the moment, day after day. But you got to put in the work. That doesn't just happen. You have to exercise the principles and create that. But I was already working hard. Getting nowhere. So what if I just redirected towards something that looked like it was going to be a greater benefit? I didn't know the principles of leverage and passive and residual income. I didn't know those were principles, and that principles have cause and effect when I started. I just followed the compensation plan like they said to. And I shared it with people and followed up, and they got results, and I followed up again and just built my business, my network. I didn't know anything about the principles. I do now, and I can share that with people that are taking a look. Our daughter retired her husband, 21 years old, both of them working together, but he was a meat cutter. In 14 months, with this compensation plan and these products, she retired her husband. She's going to turn 20. She just turned, well, I think she just turned 25. Yeah, we just had her birthday. We went out to eat. And they've been doing it full time for like 3 years. They went to Kenya. Here they are. George, Mackenzie's husband, is from Kenya. Hasn't been able to see his parents for 12 years. Isagenix paid for their trip and kept money coming in while they were over there for 6 weeks in Kenya. And the family was so happy to see the grandkids. Right here, Raphael and his wife, Chelsea, is in Mackenzie's team, retired him from his job. So not only is Mackenzie and George doing it full time from home or wherever, if they want to be on the beach in San Diego, wherever, they've helped people on their team to fire their boss. So how cool is that, right? So it's $29 to get started to really take your life to the next level. And the numbers that are behind the company, the congressional award, come on, this is awesome stuff. And the products speak for themselves. That's what really gave me the passion and the desire and the commitment, was the results that I got from these amazing products. So I travel around the country, I do different things. Like this webinar was on my website, m2mnews.info. There's a calendar on there. I'll be in Spokane, Washington at the beginning of the month, and then I'll be out in the Fresno area. I'll be in Sacramento. So you can see where I'm at and send people to the meetings. I don't charge anything for the meetings. I pay for the hotel. I bring my equipment and do presentations on the products so that people can see what the science are behind them and then make their own educated decision. But for 29 bucks, you have access to your own Isagenix health food store. There's, I think, just over 60 products that Isagenix has now produced, and we live on them. So just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully that will give you some insight to the foundation of the company and the backside. What are these numbers? What are these awards? What have they accomplished? And I think it's a big deal. You know, that's something that you want to take a look at, especially if you're going to invest your time and your energy and really put your life into it. You want to know that company's going to be around. So we're just at over 14 years. We're coming up on 15 years in the company. So I'm going to check and see if anybody has any questions in the comments section. And yeah, sometimes the volume cuts out. We have bad weather here. It could be the internet somewhere between my house and your house. So it doesn't do it for everybody. It just depends on the connections that each individual has. So I don't see any other questions. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the recording here, and I'll post it on Facebook again on the Mechanic to Millionaire channel. So you search that on YouTube. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me tonight, and hope that you learned something and give you some information that helps you to make a more better educated decision. All right, thanks. Have a great night, everyone.